So he could, if he wanted, live up to 100 years. Let's see what the notes here say, 387. It says, it seems it's actually a kappa, but the commentary says ayu kappa, the full human lifespan of 120 years. So here, it seems that the sutta says it is a kappa, world cycle. But I don't think that anybody can live for a world cycle. So it could be that it means that the full life cycle at that time was supposed to be 120 years, not 100 years. Then, so Venerable Sariputta praised the Venerable Mahamoggallana. Then Venerable Mahamoggallana said, "Friend, compared to the Venerable Sariputta, we are like a few grains of salt compared to a barrel of salt. For the Venerable Sariputta has been extolled, lauded and praised in many ways by the Blessed One. As Sariputta is supreme in wisdom, virtue and peace, so a monk who has gone beyond at best can only equal him. In this manner, both these great Nagas rejoice in what was well stated and well declared by the other." Naga means a great being. So these two chief disciples, they praise each other. Venerable Mahamoggallana, his psychic power is the greatest among all the monk disciples of the Buddha. And Venerable Sariputta, his wisdom is the greatest among all the monks. 21.4 Savatthi. Now on that occasion, a certain newly ordained monk, after returning from the alms round, would enter his dwelling after the meal and pass the time living at ease and keeping silent. He did not render service to the monks at the time of making robes. Then a number of monks approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, sat down to one side and reported this matter to him. Then the Blessed One addressed a certain monk thus, "Come, monk, tell that monk in my name that the teacher calls him." "Yes, Venerable Sir," the monk replied. And he went to the monk and told him, "The teacher calls you friend." So stop here for a moment. You see, monks, when monks live in a monastery and there's something to be done, generally all the monks should come together and help. That is expected because we live together, we should cooperate and help each other. But if a monk does not come, sometimes the other monks are not happy with him. So like in this case, "Yes, friend," that monk replied. And he approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him and sat down to one side. The Blessed One then said to him, "Is it true, monk, that after returning from the alms round, you enter your dwelling after the meal and pass the time living at ease and keeping silent, and you do not render service to the monks at the time of making robes?" And he said, "I am doing my own duty, Venerable Sir." Then the Blessed One, having known with his own mind the reflection in the monk's mind, addressed the monks thus, "Monks, do not find fault with this monk. This monk is one who gains at will, without trouble or difficulty, the 4 jhanas that constitute the higher mind, and provide a pleasant dwelling in this very life. And he is one who, by realizing it for himself with direct knowledge, in this very life enters and dwells in that unsurpassed goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the household life into homelessness." This is what the Blessed One said. Having said this, the Fortunate One, the teacher, further said, "Not by means of slack endeavor, not by means of feeble effort, is this Nibbana to be achieved, release from all suffering. This young monk is a supreme man indeed. He carries about his final body, having conquered Mara and his mount." That's the end of the sutta. So here, the Buddha, after reading the mind of this monk, realized that he was already an arahant. And then the Buddha told the other monks, no need to find fault with him. So, if a monk does not join the others in doing physical work, then he should be at least doing spiritual work. That means he should be practicing hard. So that's the only time a monk has excuse when he's actually meditating very hard, or he's already attained arahanthood. Otherwise, he is expected to join the other monks in work. 21.6 at Savatthi. Then the Venerable Lakuntaka Bhadia approached the Blessed One. The Blessed One saw him coming in the distance and addressed the monks thus: "Monks, do you see that monk coming, ugly, unsightly, deformed, despised among the monks?" "Yes, Venerable Sir. That monk is of great psychic power and might. It is not easy to find an attainment which that monk has not already attained. And he is one who, by realizing it for himself, with direct knowledge, in this very life, enters and dwells in that unsurpassed goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the household life into homelessness." This is what the Blessed One said. And he further said, "Geese, herons and peacocks, elephants and spotted deer, all are frightened of the lion, regardless of the body size. In the same way, among human beings, the small one endowed with wisdom, he is the one that is truly great, not the fool with a well-built body." It's the end of the sutta. So here the Buddha is saying, don't judge monk from his outside looks. So this monk, Lakuntaka Bhadia, he is ugly looking, deformed, and yet he is a great arahant with great psychic power. So that's why when you look at suttas like this, or like in the case of Angulimala, who killed so many people yet could attain arahanthood, then you realize actually all this talk about paramis is not valid. You don't need paramis. Paramis are perfections of character, where they stated that the Buddha cultivated these paramis over a long period of time. 4 asankhya kappas and 100 mahakappas, meaning an eternity of time to perfect himself before he could become enlightened. But you find in a case like this, even though this person, if you look at his ugly body, you think that he doesn't have much parami. Or if you look at Angulimala, he killed hundreds of people, then definitely he doesn't have much parami. And yet they could become enlightened because they strove very hard. And we have the Dhamma to guide them. So that's why they become enlightened, not because of parami, but because of practicing the right path, namely the Noble Eightfold Path. 21.8 at Savatthi. Then the Venerable Nanda, the Blessed One's maternal cousin, put on well-pressed and well-ironed robes, painted his eyes, took a glazed bowl, and approached the Blessed One. Having paid homage to the Blessed One, he sat down to one side, and the Blessed One said to him, "Nanda, this is not proper for you, a clansman who has gone forth out of faith from the household life into homelessness, that you wear well-pressed and well-ironed robes, paint your eyes, and carry a glazed bowl. This is proper for you, Nanda, a clansman who has gone forth out of faith from the household life into homelessness, that you be a forest dweller, an alms food eater, a rag robes wearer, and that you dwell indifferent to sensual pleasures." This is what the Blessed One said, and he further said, "When shall I see Nanda as a forest dweller, wearing robes stitched from rags, subsisting on the scraps of strangers, indifferent towards sensual pleasures?" Then some time later, the Venerable Nanda became a forest dweller, an alms food eater, a rag robes wearer, and he dwelt indifferent to sensual pleasures. That's the end of the sutta. So you see, this Nanda was the half, sometimes it says the half brother of the Buddha. It's actually the cousin, because Nanda was supposed to be the son of Mahapajapati. The Buddha's mother passed away 7 days after giving birth to the Buddha. And then the sister, the mother's sister, was Mahapajapati. She looked after the Buddha as though her own son. At the same time, she gave birth to Nanda. So in a way they grew up together. So after the Buddha became enlightened, the Buddha managed to persuade Nanda to renounce, but Nanda was not very keen to renounce, to become a monk. He was engaged to a beautiful girl, supposed to get married. And then the Buddha led him to the forest and ordained him. So because he was not eager to become a monk, he was still very worldly. His robes also he will iron and put painted his eyes. This thing, like some monks nowadays. But because he mixed with ascetic monks slowly, and the Buddha criticized him, so he felt ashamed. Then he changed his ways, became an ascetic monk, and also realized enlightenment. So actually, a lot of people, in a way, are like that. They come into monkhood with a lot of worldly habits. And very delicate. There are some people come and wear the robe, very delicate, very sissy like that. But over the years, if they live in the right environment, like in a forest monastery, they have to climb up the hill to clean the water source. They have to do all kinds of work, repairing the water pipe, sweeping the floor, and all that. And then years later, they become tough. So that's the sutta. 21.9 at Savatthi. Then the Venerable Tissa, the Blessed One's paternal cousin, approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side, miserable, sorrowful, with tears streaming down. Then the Blessed One said to him, Tissa, why are you sitting there, miserable, sorrowful, with tears streaming down? Because, Venerable Sir, the monks have attacked me on all sides with sharp words. And the Buddha said, that, Tissa, is because you admonish others, but cannot bear being admonished yourself. Tissa, this is not proper for you, a clansman who has gone forth out of faith from the household life into homelessness, that you admonish others but cannot accept admonition in return. This is proper for you, Tissa, a clansman who has gone forth out of faith from the household life into homelessness, that you admonish others and accept admonishment in return. This is what the Blessed One said. Having said this, the Fortunate One, the teacher, further said, why are you angry? Don't be angry. Non-anger is better for you, Tissa. It is to remove anger, conceit and scorn that the holy life is lived, Tissa. That's the end of the sutta. So you see, this Tissa, he likes to criticize others. It's very easy to see other people's fault. So he criticized others, but when other people saw his fault and they criticized him, he was not happy, could not take it. So the Buddha said, the holy life is lived to remove anger, conceit and scorn. So as we progress in the holy life, slowly, our anger should reduce, our ego should reduce. If people practice the wrong way, you find the ego increase. They think they have some attainment. Instead of being more humble, they become more arrogant. So also the temper don't go down. So if you are practicing the right way, definitely your ego and your temper should go down. So the Buddha advised him, if you advise others, you should accept advice from other people also. So we live the holy life to cut our ego. So it is proper that we accept criticism whenever we think it's coming from somebody who is sincere. So we stop here tonight. Any questions?